Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Now, it's no secret that, Hollywood, DC, these politicians, these A-list celebrities is all surrounded by dark forces. And it's a reason why a lot of these figures, they're placed in these higher up positions because that's what actually runs and controls the world is these dark evil forces. As we always quote Apostle Paul, Ephesians, the 6th chapter, about how we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, spiritual wickedness in high places. And a lot of these people in position that have influence in the world, they the ones that are under the influence of the left hand. And you have these entertainers, for an example, a lot of Jake entertainers, they're very beloved by, Jake. They have a lot of fans and people that look up to him. They listen to their music and admire, their music as if it was their talent that got them in position. But it's far deeper than that, and we should already know that by now. So what I want to do is I want to show this little clip right here where a lot of your famous A-list, rappers and musicians and actors, etc., who they have actually over them. All right, because they do have handlers. And this is where they get their demonic invoked energy to do what they do. All right. And this is how you obtain power within that industry. Remember, this is Shaitan's setup. The scriptures say the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right. And because the wicked, it tells you that in was that Psalms, the 12th chapter, when the wicked, when the wicked man is exalted, evil, surpasses, when a vilest man is exalted, the wicked walk on every side. All right. And in this world, you have the Aleister Crawleys that are revered by these same said people. Jay-Z, he actually admires Aleister Crowley, which was he was a top level Satanist. All right. He was known as, they call him the Master Therian, which basically means master, I believe it means master, I don't want to get it wrong, but basically it was a name that was given to him by his own mother. All right. But he was known as the Master Therian. I believe it deals with being a beast. All right. Or being lawless, which, if you understand the nature of a beast, they don't operate based off of law. All right. They deal based off of instinct. Okay. Primal instinct. So they don't have any boundaries. They don't have any laws or morals. All right. And Aleister Crowley, that was his philosophy. Do as thou wilt. Do what you want to do, like a beast, like an animal. Even, if you want to harm children, that's fine. That was right up the alley of that type of ideology. Okay. And he was the influence of a lot of these type of people, these individuals. So Without further ado, I'm gonna just play this little clip and then we'll get some scriptures. All right, and I know y'all looking at this woman right here. All right, that you see with the hat on in the front. You know, like what the hell is that? Like, what is that thing? Well, he's gonna, this guy right here, he's gonna basically break it down. You know, who she is and who she's connected to, and why you have all these celebrities that are, you know, around her. So let's listen real quick.
With Michelle Lamy, and just pay Rihanna is spotted here with Michelle Lamy, and just pay very close attention to how they treat this woman. Shortly after, this is her backstage of ASAP Rocky, and this woman has deep connections with every single celebrity. I mean, many pictures and videos of her and Usher, Kim Kardashian, Migos, Kanye West, ASAP Rocky, whatever, you name it, almost every single celebrity. But who is this woman? If you look her up, it says she's a fashion designer, filmmaker, producer, whatever. But she's also married to Rick Owens.
And that's what they just put on paper. All right. That's what they put on Google when you search her. But that's not all she is. It's way darker than that. All right. Just by her look alone, just looking at her. All right. That looked like Satan in the flesh. But there's a reason why she's around all these A and B list entertainers. And he's about to tell you who she's married to.
Now we're getting warmer. If you know anything about Rick Owens, he's known as the Dark Lord of Fashion. Now, if this woman is married to the Lord of Darkness when it comes to fashion, and she's a fashion designer, this is literally her wearing his head, you start wondering, what is she doing with all these artists? Surely it can't be all fashion, right? And then you see pictures of her with Marina Abramovich, which is out.
Now remember, let me bring it back, because going back to Ephesians, it talks about the rulers of the darkness of this world. All right. So a lot of their reach comes from the left hand. Where they dealing with, left hand practices like witchcraft. All right, sorcery, casting spells, sacrifice, child sacrifice, etc. That's what they dealing with. But on the surface, they will paint these people as if they're just, artists, clothing designers and, entrepreneurs, but that's just how they drape them up. But behind that drape is nothing but Satanism, high level left hand activity.
Also married to Rick Owens, and now we're getting warmer. If you know anything about Rick Owens, he's known as the Dark Lord of Fashion. Now, if this woman is married to the Lord of Darkness when it comes to fashion, and she's a fashion designer, this is literally her wearing his head, you start wondering, what is she doing with all these artists? Surely it can't be all fashion, right? And then you see pictures of her with Marina Abramovich, which is outspoken for her art, but also her spirit cooking. All I'm saying is be aware of what.
So, you often see that lady too. All right, Marina Abramovich. All right, which I believe she's a small hat, by the way. When you actually try to look her up and, look up, this particular activity that she's involved with, it's called spirit cooking. And they try to say that it's basically just a form of art. And that's how a devil would word it. Now remember, the scriptures say about how the wicked are born estranged from the womb as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And their serpent is like the poison of a serpent. All right. So we know off the rip, anything that they say, we know that these devils, they don't mean well. Okay. This is the Lord referred to them as the border of wickedness, talking about Esau. All right. Now, these individuals, all right, they have a lot of pull over Jake, And usually these are Jake's handlers in the entertainment business. They go to them for a mentorship, and they get spells casted upon them. And then they in turn go and cast spells upon basically the people. So it's highly satanic. And, the scriptures tell us, let's go to Proverbs real quick, 12:26. And it says this, it says, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. So all these entertainers, which they sold their soul, all right, to the spiritual demon Satan. And we know Esau is the physical counterpart for the spiritual demon Satan. So you sell out to Satan in the flesh through Esau, all right, through these record execs, these handlers, these people who control the fashion, the Tavistock Institute that control, all these different mediums. And Jake basically gets seduced by it. They learn the ways of the wicked, which the Lord warned us from the beginning not to do. This type of activity, this was part of the things that the Lord told Adam and Eve specifically to stay away from in the garden. Do not learn these type of things. That's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. All right. And of course, it intrigued Eve, and she got beguiled by the serpent. He juiced it up and made it seem appealing, and it became pleasant to her, and she became curious and was beguiled, and she ended up eating of it. And then she showed Adam, and then the rest, we already know what happened after that. They ended up falling after that. Okay, it opened up Pandora's box, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. All right. And when you go, let's go to Deuteronomy now, because we're supposed to stay separate, from the works of the wicked. And I want to, let me go from this translation. Let me go to the Christian Standard Bible. And this is what it says, Deuteronomy 18. And I'm going to start at verse 9. And this is dealing with occult practices, right? Which, these higher ups, the elite, down to your, presidents, puppet politicians, like that chick, Marina Abramovich. She was connected with Tony and John Podesta, and they were high level Satanists. They was dealing with child sacrifice, child molestation, and they were going to have these dinners. And you look at, and there's images online that you can find yourself. They're eating at dinner, and it looked like they got, bodies, laid out on the dinner table with blood everywhere. So these motherfuckers committing cannibalism and dealing with child sacrifice and masking it under art, calling it art. And these are the people that your favorite entertainers and singers and rappers surround themselves with: the Jay-Z's, the Rihanna's, the Beyonce's, the Lady Gaga's, etc. Deuteronomy 18:9 in the CSB, it says, when you enter the land the Lord your power is giving you, do not imitate the detestable customs of those nations. No one among you is to sacrifice his son or daughter in the fire, practice divination, tell fortunes, interpret omens, practice sorcery. And it talks about here in Babylon. That's why this place is going to get floored. It's going to get burned to the lowest hell, because one of the things about Babylon was that, she would deceive everybody by her sorceries. When you read about Nineveh, which is a parallel to Babylon the Great, Nineveh, had a charming, seducing aura that it seduced people to commit idolatry and live in luxury. And Nineveh was also rich by commerce, just like Babylon. So when you go into Nahum, the third chapter, about the fall of Nineveh, Nineveh pretty much foreshadowed Babylon the Great. And it went into ruin. It got destroyed. And, of course, the land is inhabited, but we know Babylon is not going to be inhabited because this place is going to get totally not even just annihilated. It's going to be completely just destroyed, wiped out. This is known as the mother of harlots, abominations of the earth. Full of abominable acts being committed every single day on this soil. All right. A lot of left hand activity. So the Lord said, don't partake in these type of occultic practices. And this is what they do every day in the music, in the film industry. All right. And even, the White House, and even above them, it says cast spells. That whole spirit cooking, that's dealing with casting spells. The chick that you see with Rihanna, all right, Michelle Lamy, all right. She's supposed to be this fashion designer and all this, but no, she casts spells. All these celebrities have handlers, and they cast spells. They put them under MK Ultra or some spirit. All right, and that's why you see a lot of these celebrities are possessed. And when they go out there and perform, they're casting a spell as well. And that's why you see Jake, they under that negative demonic influence. All right, and hey, it tells you about how the wicked. All right, they do a diligent search. It says that the inward thought of every one of them is deep. They search out all kind of iniquity, so they know how the mind works. They know the mastery of dealing with sorcery, dealing with spirits. When you go back to the serpent in the garden, he was crafty. He was subtle. All right. It says cast spells, consult a medium or a spiritist, spirit cooking, conjuring up all kind of spirits, dealing with wizardry, consulting with familiar spirits. They do all that. This is one of the reasons why this place is going to get wiped out. It says, or inquire of the dead. Everyone who does these acts is detestable to the Lord, and the Lord your power is driving out the nations before you because of these detestable acts. And one of those nations was the Canaanites, which when you go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 12th chapter, it gets detailed what they were involved in. And of course, Esau, he learned and studied the practices of the Canaanites, and he mastered it because he's the wicked. Let's go to, it's like I clicked on Sirach. Let me go to the Wisdom of Solomon 12, and this is what it says. It's Wisdom of Solomon 12, and starting at verse 3, it says, for it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices. And that's what goes on, right? That's what they all are involved with in order to stay in position, to get all this power from the left hand. It says, and also those merciless murderers of children. All right, you're dealing with Podesta and, who followed Aleister Crowley and Satanism. You heard about all this Pizzagate and these different coded terms that they use for children, like pizza and pasta, hot dogs, and they would share, speak in code using those terms in these emails. John Podesta, he was the chairman for Hillary Clinton. And they some straight up blood gulpers, man. Because they do all that underground harvesting. And you wonder why every year There'd be a lot of missing youth. It says, and devourers of man's flesh in the feast of blood. And this is what they doing, dealing with that demon Abramovich. That's soul cooking or spirit cooking. Painting with blood and shit, man. And they'll have the celebrities partaking in those rituals doing the same stuff. They'll even have them bathe or get in a freaking tub of blood. It's sick. They'll be at these feasts, drinking it with a side of sperm, with a glass of breast milk. Like they operate like they're not human, but they are. They just influenced under heavy satanic forces, man. It says with their priests, and the Canaanites were heavy into this. They were the originals. That's why the Lord had us clear them up out of there, man, out of the land of Canaan. It says with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help. So the wicked, the going back to Proverbs 12, the way of the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. Why? Because the Lord, he chose us and made a covenant with us and gave us a law that was righteous, overall. All right. And these instructions told us to abstain from these ways. Don't learn these practices that you see from these heathens. Don't have any dealings with them. Don't even try to emulate them. But Jake would get seduced and fall right into it. And there's always been a stumbling block. Jake getting curious, just like Eve. And Jake wonder why the Lord, deals with them how he does. All right. So let's go from there. Let's go to Isaiah because, Babylon then mastered it. So it's all in the air here in Babylon. Right. But the Lord, we already know what the Lord's going to do, what he has planned for this place. Isaiah 47:1, and this is still in the Christian Standard Bible. It says, go down and sit in the dust, virgin daughter Babylon. Sit on the ground without a throne, daughter Chaldea, for you will no longer be called pampered and spoiled. All right, it says, take millstones and grind flour, remove your veil, strip off your skirt, bare your thigh, wade through the streams. Your nakedness will be uncovered and your disgrace will be exposed. And America is exposed every single day. All right. It says, I will take vengeance. I will spare no one, which in the King James Bible, or the accurate passage, it actually says, he said, I will not meet thee as a man, and why is he going to do that? Well, he's already, after the Lord risen up and went back to the spiritual realm, he's now sitting on the right hand of glory. He's in his glory now. So when he returns, he's going to return as the Lord from heaven. And that's when he's going to come down here and he's going, stomp down on that wine press of the wrath and fierceness of the almighty power. All right. So let me jump down. And I'm going to start at verse 8. It says, so now here it is, lover of luxury, who sits securely, who says to herself, I am, and there is no one else. I will never be a widow or know the loss of children. That's the prideful attitude, of this whore who thinks that she won't be touched. But the Lord, he's going to bring, total devastation. When we read Jeremiah, it talks about how the Lord's going to, after Babylon would be used as the golden cup, to make the nations drunken, there would be some adversity, some travail And he said, how for her, take balm for her pain, for we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Right? And that's why the Lord is bringing the plagues upon this place. All right. He's deteriorating it morally, economically, the infrastructure, everything about this place is deteriorating. All right. The daughters of music brought low. Your celebrities and entertainers are dying off or getting caught up in scandals and getting locked up. So it's this place is collapsing. All right. It says, these two things will happen to you suddenly in one day, loss of children and widowhood. They will happen to you in their entirety, in spite of your many sorceries and the potency of your spells. All right. Despite all the spells that you cast, over the world, over the people, you're not going to be able to hold back the judgments prepared for you. It says, you were secure in your wickedness. You said, no one sees me. Which the Lord, he sees everything. The scriptures say in Isaiah 29, woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord. Nothing is hidden from his eyes, man. You devils in the entertainment world, all the way up to the elite. Nothing is secret anymore. Everything is out in the open. And that's why one of the reasons why they want to get rid of TikTok now. Even though TikTok can be annoying, with a lot of sensationalism and misinformation being spreaded, but it'd be a lot of truth and good information shared on that same platform. You just got to be the one to be able to differentiate and use discernment. All right. Well, they want to cut off all these mediums of communication because a lot of information is going out there and it's revealing this devil. All right. Because we're in that time where the man of sin has to be revealed, as it is written in 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. The man of sin, the man of lawlessness, the son of perdition. It says, your wisdom and knowledge led you astray. You said to yourself, I am, and there is no one else. But disaster will happen to you, and you will not know how to avert it, and it will fall on you, but you will be unable to ward it off. Like they looking at those ships out there, they calling them orbs, and they don't know what to do. And you can't ward them off. And they're going to be very instrumental in your downfall. All right. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't touch them because those are the angels of the Lord. It says devastation will happen to you suddenly and unexpectedly. So take your stand with your spells, all your Hollywood witchcraft, your magic. All right. These actors and musicians and politicians. All right. Take a stand with all of them in your many sorceries, which you have wearied yourself with from your youth. Perhaps you will be able to succeed. Perhaps you will inspire terror, unless the Lord being funny. You are worn out with your many consultations. So let the astrologers stand and save you. Those who observe the stars, who predict monthly what will happen to you. They are like stubble. Fire burns them. They cannot rescue themselves from the power of the flame. And that's what this place is going to be given to, the burning flame. You can read that in Daniel 7 and 11. All right, it says, this is not a coal for warming themselves or a fire to sit beside. Yeah, this is going to be fire that's going to burn for a long period of time. It says that her smoke ascendeth up forever and ever. All right, after this place gets visited. All right, even the beast that the whore rides upon. All right, they're going to hate the whore and burn her with fire too. They're going to shoot missiles on her. So all this witchcraft, all these satanic people standing on this soil, they're going to be dissolved. They're going to feel that fire and then they're going to be dissolved. And the Lord's going to do it quick. All right. It says, this is what they are to you, those who have wearied you and have traded with you from your youth. Each wanders on his own way. No one can save you. And let me go from there and let's get Revelation 21. And we're going to read this one in the AMP. And it says, but as for cowards, basically the fearful and unbelieving and abominable, who are devoid of character and personal integrity and practice or tolerate immorality, right? And, we know all the acts of immorality, and murderers and sorcerers with intoxicating drugs and idolaters and occultists. And that's what, Hollywood is full of occultists with all these secret societies and Satanists and witches and warlocks. It says, who practice and teach false religions, and all the liars who knowingly deceive and twist the truth, like these false prophets out here. All right, they're not exempt too. They're going to be a part of this. It says their part will be in a lake that blazes with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And that's going to bring the end of this wicked, evil age. All right, and begin a new heaven and earth where there dwells righteousness. In the law, the Most High is going to be standard. All right, and these type of witches, and then of course Jake that sold out and were under their spells, and these different handlers that sold they sold, they're going to be destroyed as well, and they're going to come back in their right minds, and they're going to loathe themselves. They're going to wake up to everlasting shame and contempt. All right, for receiving the constellation, just to be used as a vessel or an instrument to destroy their own people. So I just want to make a lesson on this. All right, and Lord willing, y'all edify them and give all praise to y'all Bashim Yahweh Shai. Hopefully they don't strike me for bringing this out, but hey, it was a spirit. But Lord willing, y'all were edified. Till next time, Shalom.